I never imagined inheriting 1,200 acres would turn my life upside down. The property had been in my grandfather's family for generations. I expected old fences and forgotten fields, not an entire luxury neighborhood sitting on my land. That discovery changed everything. Inside the old farmhouse attic, I discovered dusty maps, legal surveys, and decades-old property records. One folded document immediately caught my attention. The boundaries extended far beyond what anyone had ever mentioned. Something wasn't adding up. The survey lines clearly surrounded Ridgeview Estates. Every single home appeared inside my inherited property. I stared at the map for several minutes before realizing the unbelievable truth. The entire HOA existed on land my family still legally owned. I drove toward the neighborhood to see everything with my own eyes. The entrance looked luxurious with stone gates and decorative landscaping. Residents smiled as they passed by, unaware of the legal surprise waiting beneath their homes. The only entrance crossed a beautiful stone bridge over a deep river. According to my documents, that bridge also belonged to my inherited property. It wasn't public infrastructure. It was privately owned land. Curious, I visited the county records office. The clerk compared my documents with their archives. After several minutes, she quietly confirmed that my paperwork matched every official record on file. The news spread quickly through the neighborhood. HOA board members immediately requested a meeting. They insisted there had to be some mistake, but every document pointed to the same conclusion. Instead of negotiating, the HOA demanded unrestricted access forever. They claimed the neighborhood depended entirely on that bridge. I politely explained that ownership came with legal rights and responsibilities. Weeks passed without any agreement. I received multiple legal notices demanding permanent access across my property. My attorney reviewed every document and remained completely confident in our position. After exhausting every reasonable option, I made a business decision. I legally sold the privately owned access bridge to a commercial investor. The HOA never expected the situation to change overnight. The morning after the sale, construction crews arrived with official permits. New security barriers and access control signs were installed at the bridge entrance. Residents watched in complete disbelief as the only road into the neighborhood suddenly changed. Within hours, long lines of vehicles stretched far beyond the neighborhood entrance. Confused homeowners demanded answers from the HOA board. The board members had no immediate solution to the growing problem. The HOA president rushed to confront me, insisting I reverse the sale immediately. I calmly explained that every step had been completed legally. Business decisions cannot simply be undone because someone dislikes the outcome. The HOA contacted the sheriff's office, hoping law enforcement would force the bridge open. Deputies reviewed the ownership paperwork carefully. They explained that the dispute involved private property rights and civil law. One deputy respectfully informed everyone that police could not invalidate private ownership documents. The neighborhood fell silent. Even the loudest HOA members realized the situation was far more serious than they expected. Over the next several days, local surveyors returned to verify every property line. Modern GPS equipment confirmed exactly what the historic records had already shown. The bridge remained private property. News reporters soon arrived after hearing about the unusual property dispute. Cameras captured interviews from both sides. The story quickly attracted attention across the entire county. Public records became available for everyone to examine. Many homeowners were surprised to discover that the original developer had never secured permanent bridge access decades earlier. Questions quickly shifted toward the HOA leadership. Several residents approached me privately to discuss possible long-term solutions. Unlike the board members, they wanted respectful negotiations instead of confrontation. For the first time, real progress seemed possible. I agreed to consider future access under clear legal agreements that protected everyone's interests. Cooperation replaced conflict. The atmosphere around the neighborhood finally began to change. Professional attorneys prepared a detailed access agreement that respected private ownership while allowing practical solutions. Every clause was reviewed carefully before anyone signed. The agreement required the HOA to maintain the bridge responsibly while recognizing its legal ownership. Residents appreciated having a clear and stable path forward. Many homeowners admitted they had never known the true history of the property. They thanked me for handling the situation calmly despite months of disagreement. The former HOA leadership stepped aside after residents demanded greater transparency. A new board promised better communication and responsible decision-making. Months later, the neighborhood had returned to normal. Families crossed the bridge every day under the new legal agreement, and unnecessary conflict had disappeared. I continued restoring my grandfather's ranch while preserving its history for future generations. The land once again became a source of pride instead of conflict. Standing on the hill overlooking the property, I reflected on everything that had happened. Patience and careful planning had accomplished far more than anger ever could. The bridge became a reminder that clear property records and respectful communication matter. Small decisions made decades earlier can shape entire communities for years to come. Neighbors who once argued now greeted one another with respect. The property dispute had become an important lesson in cooperation, responsibility, and understanding. My grandfather always believed that land should be protected with wisdom and integrity. Looking across those 1,200 acres, I knew I had honored that legacy. Sometimes the strongest victory comes through patience and lawful decisions. If you enjoyed this HOA story, don't forget to like, thumbs up, and subscribe bell for more incredible property and HOA stories every week. Also, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We'd love to hear from you.